help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police.
Championship semifinal round underway, so we'll get right to it here at Gross Memorial Coliseum on Smoky Hills Public Television. Top half of your screen, that would be the semifinal featuring Ty Nanke of Ellsworth and Brady Lowell of Republic. Brady Lowell of Republic County leading 2-1 and in the top position with 53 seconds left here in the first period.
Well, and what happened is Lowell came out, got the takedown, and then an illegal hold, so Nanke gets a point. And Nanke in the bottom position. He's been one of the surprises of this tournament with a 12-11 decision over Kameen Crow of Silver Lake, a regional champion from last week, and then a 6-2 win over McCray Mickelbrink of Atwood. Lowell hasn't been on the mat a whole lot. He had a second period pin over Austin Swartz of Council Grove and a 37-second pin over St. Francis Lane Hoffman.
Lowell, by the way, in the blue and red. The solid red would be Nanke of Ellsworth. Bottom half of your screen, also at 106 pounds, semifinal matches between Trey Franska of Chase County, who would be in the red and black, and Josh Gefford of Marysville in the mostly black with the Bulldogs across the front. He's in the bottom position. That match has ended the first period with a 0-0 score as we get set to start the second.
Gefford last year, a third-place finisher at 103 pounds, and Franska was your state runner-up, so a big-time semifinal matchup. Into the first period, it's Lowell on the top of your screen leading Nanke 2-1. Lowell from Republic County, Nanke from Ellsworth.
Franska very good with the legs. I've noticed that throughout the tournament. Don't recall him.
Those body scissors look like they hurt. He uses that almost to perfection.
Warning stalling on Gefford from Marysville.
Well, you were anticipating that quarterfinal matchup between Branson Addington of Norton and Franska, and that didn't turn out to be much of a match as Franska won that by a second period fall, really dominated that second period.
Gefford of Marysville knocked off Logan Bowen of Atchison County in the first round 7-5. Then major decision, Colton Stalford of Caney Valley 10-2 in the second round. Franska, as you mentioned, the quarterfinals beat Addington of Norton, and in the first round had a third period fall over Brody Freiling of Smith Center.
That was a nice major decision that Gefford had against Colton Stalford of Caney Valley, who's had a tremendous year. And that's one of those quarterfinal matches I thought would be closer.
38-3 coming into the quarterfinals was Stalford, so I'd say.
106 pounds, one of the deepest weight classes here. There are some good ones, some really good ones on the back side of the bracket, as well as the front side, as you're seeing by two really close semifinal matches here.
Franska getting close to getting a couple of near fall there, but runs out of time, so period 2 comes to an end, 0-0. 106 pounds, bottom half of the bracket, bottom half of your screen.
And Nanke from Ellsworth not able to do a whole lot in the bottom position against Lowell from Republic County. Lowell, the regional champion from that Hoisington Regional. and Ninky took 4th out of that region. Geffert was your runner-up, and Franska was your runner-up. So these two of the best at 106 pounds, didn't even win their regionals last week. Ninky from Ellsworth, top of your screen, tripods up and tries to hit a roll.
He's got himself in a little bit of trouble now, but no, now he's able to, I thought when he buried that half, did Lowell, that Ninky was in trouble, but look at this. He turns it around with a headlock. The Cinderella story may continue if he can pick up a pin here.
Wow.
But now, Lowell flips him back over. Keep track of the score, boys. You have to sort this one out. What do we have here?
2 back. 6-6 is what they have on the score clock. They'll be talking about that. Now, did Lowell get any back points there in addition to the reversal?
Yes, he got 3 for Ninky and then 2 reversal and 2 back points for Lowell. So boy, what a fury of action there. Still no score, but near fall coming here for Franska in the 3rd period. 56 seconds remaining. He's going to pick up 3 there, so Franska now leads 3-0 on the bottom half of your screen. He's in the top position. 45 seconds and counting.
Well, he's been runner-up twice, has Franska at 103 pounds, and he looks poised to win a title at 106. He is just very, very effective in the top position. There you see those body scissors again.
Another 3 near fall. That's going to put it away, I think, for Franska. 6-0 with 10 seconds left in the match. So Trey Franska for the 3rd year in a row, and for his 3rd year as a high school wrestler, will be in the state championship match, this time at 106 pounds, tomorrow night here in Hays, Kansas.
Remember, Franska a year ago had won the regional championship over Colt Skillman of Burlington. Skillman beat him in the championship match. He was a regional runner-up, was Franska this year, to Kameen Crow of Silver Lake, and has a chance to win a state championship tomorrow. Lowell gets an escape and a takedown, and now a 3-point lead on Ninky.
9-6, 39 seconds left. Here comes Ninky. We'll see if he can pull off another shocker. He's back to within 1, 8-9, 30 seconds left in the match.
He does not give up.
Trying to climb up and get some near fall points here, and he's got a half Nelson in. 1, 2, he's going to get some near fall. Can he hold on now for the final 18 seconds of the match, though?
That's the key.
Ninky was 4th place in his region last week. Now he's going to be headed to the state championship match to take on Trey Franska of Chase County.
How about that?
And it's official. 11-9. Make that. Yeah, they had already awarded it on the board. 11-9 the final. Ninky of Ellsworth now in the state championship match at 106. What a story. We'll be back with more after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back at Gross Memorial Coliseum. 3-2-1A State Wrestling Championships championship semifinal round. It's Mike Holliday and Troy Recheck. We've just finished with 106, and boy, Ty Ninky of Ellsworth, wow. If there's been a Cinderella story in this tournament so far, he's been it. He is in the state championship match, as I mentioned, taking on Trey Franska of Chase County, a 2-time runner-up. And we move on to 113 pounds, where on the top half of your screen, we'll have Joey DeFore, the undefeated wrestler out of Dexter, taking on Keegan Amos of Holcomb. Keegan, a state runner-up from last year. Bottom half of your screen will be James Juergens of Scott City and Marshall Schlatter of Lions. Those are going to be kind of hard to tell apart. The lighter blue, if you will, would be Schottler of Lions. The deeper, darker, more midnight blue would be James Juergens of Scott City.
And if you have a black and white television, we don't know how to explain it to you. There's
Knee
some writing
pads
on the front of the Lions wrestlers singlet.
Knee pads is Lions, no knee pads is Scott City.
Keegan Amos of Holcomb in deep on and close to getting a takedown on Joey DeFore, the unbeaten wrestler from Dexter, one of 3 unbeaten wrestlers here.
Looks like we're close to a stalemate there on the top half of your screen. 0-0 the score, and we'll start back on our feet with 1:02 left here in the first period.
Juergens of Scott City getting the takedown on Schlatter of Lions.
Once you step on the official scale, you must weigh in during your hour.
We're talking about rolling around there by the 2 bottom wrestlers, or the wrestlers on your bottom screen.
Or you can weigh in during the heavyweight hour if you're not already checked on the official scale.
There's some back points for Juergens of Scott City.
Takedown for Defoe of Dexter. 2-0 lead over Keegan Amos of Holcomb with 30 seconds left here in the first. Looks like he's got a chicken wing hooked up too. We'll see if he can do anything with it or if Amos can get back to his base.
Dexter in a co-op wrestling program with Central of Burden. We've seen several of these co-op programs, which I like. Gives more wrestling opportunities out there.
Near fall points coming for Juergens of Scott City here with a tip. That's going to give him an 8-0 lead once they're awarded with about 15 seconds left here in the first period. Quick work there. 8 points scored in the first.
Juergens has 12 losses on the year, just a freshman. Scott City wrestles a tough schedule. He is dominating this match. That was a great first period and an 8-0 lead. 2-2 DeFore of Dexter and Amos of Holcomb.
Amos nearly picking up some near fall there. DeFore able to roll through.
2 more points for Juergens on the bottom of your screen. 10-0 now for the Scott City freshman.
Going to that Oklahoma ride. Funny thing is people from Kansas call it the Oklahoma ride, and people in Oklahoma call it the Kansas ride.
There's some more back points. Close to getting a technical fall out of this match.
It's going to be 3 more. 1 more turn with 1:10 left, and this match is going to end prematurely.
When talking about finalists for Scott City, I don't know how many people thought Juergens could make it to the finals, but he is headed that direction. Scott City at last check, in fact, he's going to win by at least a technical fall here, and there you have it, 15-0. Juergens of Scott City in dominating fashion. So Scott City already leading the tournament at last check will get a freshman into the finals. And DeFore of Dexter hasn't been able to do a great deal on bottom.
That match still tied up at 2. 25 seconds left here in the second. And oh, there's a reversal.
Yeah, with 17 seconds left, so DeFore scores a reversal. He won a 9-7 quarterfinal decision over Ethan Wessling of Beloit. That was a good match. This one good as well, and DeFore will take a 2-point lead into the third period at 1:13.
Not sure who's choice it's going to be. Looks like it'll be Amos. He's going to go down. This one could come down to the wire. Quick front roll into a switch by Keegan Amos, but countered well by DeFore. Now a reversal, pops his head out the backside and ties up the match 15 seconds into the final period. As you mentioned, he was able to ride DeFore most of that second period, down to the last 17 seconds or so, so we'll see if he's able to do that again.
Yeah, you wonder what kind of strategy that DeFore will go with here. Does he kind of lay back and steal one in the last 30 seconds or so?
Would be something to consider. Less time that you have to turn around and ride them back out then. I would prefer getting an escape myself, where you know you've got the lead and then you just have to work on a takedown.
Well, and DeFore did get the takedown in the first period, so I think he would feel pretty comfortable on his feet. DeFore, a 5th place finisher at 112 last year, has been ranked #1 at this weight throughout most of the season. There's another reversal. So, our first undefeated wrestler in the semifinals, leading up. Nice front roll again. He was going to try to hit that Granby out of the front roll, and he missed it, but he did get the reversal and tie it up. If he'd have hit that Granby and scored some back points, this crowd would have went nuts. What matches we've had so far in the semi. Oh, they've been great.
25 seconds and counting in the match. 6-6 tie. Amos of Holcomb in the top position. Undefeated DeFore of Dexter in the bottom.
Is he spending too much time trying to find that Granby? Close to getting a reversal. There's the escape.
Off the mat with 1 second remaining. Oh, they're going to call that a match.
Wow, what a great match.
7-6 your final. DeFore of Dexter remains undefeated and goes to the finals to take on Juergens of Scott City tomorrow night for the state championship at 1:13. We'll be back after this. Back at Gross Memorial Coliseum here on Smoky Hills Public Television. It's championship semifinal action here at the 3-2-1A State Wrestling Championships, and we now have our championship match set for 113 pounds. As I mentioned, the undefeated Joey DeFore of Dexter will take on James Juergens, a freshman who looked very impressive in his semifinal match for the Scott City Beavers. And now we move on to 120, where we've got Brandon Ball of Hoisington taking on John Ryswick of Norton on the top half of your screen, and on the bottom half it'll be Jake Elbrader of Burlington and Alex Coe of Scott City.
I think a couple of pretty good matchups here, especially Ball and Ryswick. That's one that you were talking about as a potential matchup that could be really exciting before the tournament even began.
And it's underway right here, top half of your screen.
Big match for Hoisington, too, as they are certainly in the running for at least a top 3 finish. If not a little bit higher than that.
Top half of your screen, by the way, Brandon Ball in the red, white, and black with the cardinal on the back of his singlet, and John Ryswick Norton in the blue and yellow. Takedown on the bottom half, that's for the Burlington wrestler, Jake Elbrader. Takedown and leads Alex Coe of Scott City 2-0 with 1:25 left here in the first. Coe of Scott City in the, again, the midnight blue. Elbrader of Burlington in the red, white, and black.
Boy, and Ball of Hoisington very close to getting taken down. He's kind of reversed position a little bit, and I think he's in the better position now, as they call a stalemate. Ryswick still had a hold of that leg, but boy, he was very close to giving up a takedown. Ryswick has been, he's a junior, he's Been a state champion his freshman year, state runner-up a year ago. Well, this will be the third straight weight class that we won't have a senior in the finals. Not a senior here in the semifinals. So our first 6 state finalists will be underclassmen. As Ball gets the takedown on Ryswick.
20 seconds left here in the first.
So a 2-0 lead for Ball. So both favorites, Coe and Ryswick, trailing Coe and Ryswick, favorites to make the finals. They're both down 2-0.
That's a rematch of last year's final, isn't it? Coe and Ryswick?
Ryswick and Mulligan, actually.
Oh, that's right.
At 112. Mulligan went up in weight a little bit, 132. And we'll see him in action in the semifinals here a little bit later on.
Scott City coaches wanted a stall warning there on Elbreder for not moving up on the leg. Instead of stalemate called. I have to kind of agree with the Scott City coaches there.
Coe pops right up to his feet and cuts the lead in half, now 2-1.
Gonna try to drag him back on. Runs out of time, so 2-1, still the score. Elbreder of Burlington leading Coe of Scott City.
We got a couple of pretty good ones here at 120. Ball coming in from Hoisington. He is a sophomore, 34-2. I believe he took third in the Hayes tournament. And the finalists in there, a wrestler by the name of Isaac Dolgarian. I haven't seen a freshman like him in a long time, from St. Thomas Aquinas. He made your decision, a really good senior from McPherson, Tim Prescott, and Brandon Ball third in that tournament. So that's one of Ball's losses to one of those wrestlers in a very tough tournament. Ryswick has 4 losses. Of course, Norton goes to the Newton tournament. Ryswick's been a pretty good portion of the year at 126 as well.
So we go full screen while they clean up some blood of Elbreder. Stall warning there on Ryswick of Norton, 2-0 the score.
And Ryswick's the one that really needs to get something going. Nice re-switch by Ball on the switch attempt by Ryswick. How about that?
And the period comes to an end, so we're down to the last 2 minutes. Ball in a pretty good spot right now, leading 2-0, and it's his choice of position here as we begin the final 2. Now we're back to action on the bottom half of your screen as well. That's a 2-1 match where Elbreder of Burlington leads Coe of Scott City. Coe on top. Minute 47 remaining here in the second. Another stalemate call.
Coe, a third place finisher last year at 119, so essentially didn't go up in weight. Of course, they've changed the weights a little bit, so the third weight is 120 instead of 119.
And he's got a cradle. Lost it.
Ball of Hoisington getting a reversal and now has a 4-0 lead on Ryswick.
That's as we go into the final minute over there, top half of your screen.
Well, this would be big points for Hoisington.
big points for Scott City.
And Scott City as well, yeah, with Coe and a possibility of getting to the finals as well.
And already having one in. Like you said, you can win it sometimes in the semifinals if you get on a roll.
Well, Scott City with the possibility of maybe 4 in the finals. That's big time points.
And it does help. If you get a couple of wins on your team, it seems to build momentum, and nobody wants to be the one that loses. Nobody wants to be the one that's not in the finals. It can really build something for you. Tie match. No, 3-1.
Yeah, Elbrader getting an escape there. And
7
Ball,
seconds and counting.
Ball of Hoisington is going to upset Ryswick of Norton.
4-0. So we officially have more Mohawks than seniors in the finals so far.
Well, that was a dominating performance by Ball.
It was. I had not had a chance to see him wrestle this year. I asked a few people about him as I was doing research for the tournament, and they said he's for real. They weren't lying to me.
Well, Elbrader is proving he is for real as well. The Douglas, or the Burlington sophomore, as he leads Coe 5-1. Final period coming up at 1:20.
Show the Burlington crowd there. Long drive from southeast Kansas.
Well, they have some great fans, though. They have had great representation fan-wise here the last several years.
Comes Coe to his feet, gets the escape, 5-2. So with that, down to a 3-point match with 1:40 remaining.
Now, what's your strategy here if you are Elbrader?
Stall.
Stall and don't get caught, huh?
Right. Stall till you get warned and then get after it.
I don't believe he has a stall warning.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a point and make it a 2-point match, but
Coe looking for some sort of a short fireman's, and Elbrader wrestling defensively here.
wouldn't necessarily call it stalling either. Like you said, wrestle defensively, wait, choose your opportunity. Don't just go outlandish and get too crazy. Now, on the other hand, Coe has to do whatever he can do.
And the referees, they want to see that you are working for a takedown.
There's Coe in on the leg. See if he can, maybe he can come around on a tip there. Short fireman's and get some back points as well. He's going to cut him free now and try to take him down again and tie this match. And there he is on the short fireman's.
Well, he's got a short fireman's build.
Yeah, he does.
And there's your stall warning. That's always a tough predicament, too. Elbrader up by 2 points. You just want to be careful you don't get hit for stalling again, and then a takedown beats you. There's a good shot. How about
that?
Got
a low single. See if he's going to treetop it or trip. He tries to trip, and he's able to come up with the 2 points. So, wow. I'll be honest, I didn't have either one of these two wrestlers in the finals on my bracket.
Well, if you do, you're the only one.
8-4, the final score. Elbrader of Burlington will be taking on Ball of Hoisington for the 120-pound state championship tomorrow night here at Gross Memorial Coliseum. More after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back live from Gross Memorial Coliseum here on Smoky Hills Public Television. Troy Rechek, Mike Holliday, championship semifinal action underway. Another match set at 120 pounds between Ball of Hoisington and Elbrader of Burlington for tomorrow night. Now on to 126 pounds, where we've got Dylan Shoemaker of Hayes TMP going for his 4th state championship. Something very, very few have done. That's an elite crowd to be in. And he'll be taking on Justin Wagner of Atchison County. That in the top half of your bracket. Bottom half, it's Hunter Spear of Horton, who avenged a loss to Dayton Dreyer of Oberlin from last year's state tournament to get here. And Horton against Norton as Spear takes on Alice Hager of the Norton Blue Jays. That's on the bottom half of your screen.
Shoemaker match underway. It's one of those, if you can withstand his first period barrage, takedown and back points, you keep it close, maybe you have a chance. But okay, I say that, and it almost sounds dumb to say that because Shoemaker always wrestles his match.
Takedown and near fall. He didn't quite.
Right on cue.
Yeah. Pretty tight crossbody cradle too. Those are tough to get out of.
Shoemaker is verbally committed to the University of Wyoming to wrestle for next year. Had that done before the season began. That's always nice to get that out of the way. Now, he did have a very rare match that went 3 periods in the state tournament. He's only had one other during his state time.
And we've got takedown and near fall on the bottom half of your mat as well. That is Spear of Horton and Hager of Norton. Spear in the blue and white with the takedown and 3 near falls, so he quickly leads 5-0 as well.
I'll tell you, this Spear kid is good. He is a 4th place finisher last year at state, and he beat a very good Dayton Dreyer from Oberlin in the quarterfinals. Really controlled that match and won it 8-4. Shoemaker leads 5-0 over Wagner of Atchison County. Top of your screen, Shoemaker going for his 4th state championship. Billy Gable has done it from St. Francis. Matt Gillen from Hoxie. Of course, played Madden from Norton and Colt Rogers from Smith Center, and Shoemaker wants to join them. It's been done less in 3-2-1A than it has in any other class in Kansas.
For good reason.
Shoemaker has won it at 103 pounds, 112 and 119.
And another cradle by Spear from Horton. He's got Hager in trouble again. Hager able to get out of the cradle. It's disconnected, so here come the 3 more near fall points, and that makes it an 8-0 match with 8 seconds left here in the first period.
Well, that's a good first period. Takedown and total of 6 back points, 2 3-point near falls. So Spear in control of his match on the bottom of your screen.
Control enough that Hager says, I want to go on top. Hager gets the choice and says, nah, I'm not getting down there anymore. Put me on top for once.
Hager had a good regional tournament last week in Lake and took 3rd out there. A commanding win over Trevor Axelson of Plainville for 3rd place.
Well, since that initial onslaught of points, it's been pretty quiet around here. Wow, winding down the second period on the top half of your screen, and it's still just 5-0. Shoemaker over Wagner.
Shoemaker 3 losses on the year. They all came in the Baser-Linwood tournament. That here about 5 weeks ago. He got out to the semifinals, lost 2-0 to a Shoemaker from Baldwin, and then lost 2 more on the backside.
Another reversal there for Spear. Now a 10-0 lead with a minute left in the second period. And back to that cradle he goes. See if he can complete it inbounds. That's going to be the big question. You know he can't. They're off, and we'll have to center back up.
15 seconds left in the Shoemaker and Wagner second period. We're in the championship semifinals at 126 pounds. Shoemaker with a first period fall over Luke Eckert of Minneapolis and a 12-4 decision over Daniel Melcher of Harrington. Justin Wagner a 10-2 win over Torrey Hamill of Chaparral, and then pinned Trevor Axelson of Plainville in the second period.
Nice move there by Hager of Norton, but Spear of Horton found some way to keep from giving up any points there.
Well, if you're Wagner from Atchison County, I don't know that you necessarily want to go down. I didn't see whose choice it was, but if it was his choice, I don't think you want to be on bottom against Shoemaker.
So 19 seconds remaining in the second period on the bottom half of your screen. That's a 10-0 match. Spear of Horton on top and leading. Uh-oh, be careful for the defensive fall there. And on the top half of your screen, we're already into the third. A minute 15 and counting left in the match, with Shoemaker on top for Hayes TMP and leading 5-0.
Shoemaker coached by Mike Howell. Johnny Flores for Atchison County. Of course, a longtime Leota and Atchison County coach. He's had some great teams with both programs.
Here comes Hager coming around trying to shake down. Boy, Spear better watch out. You'd rather give up the points. Now Hager's got Spear in trouble. Very tight cradle. The reversal's been given. I haven't seen any near fall counted. Oh, he has counted for 2 thus far. Spear been dominating this match, but he's got himself in a bit of a predicament right now.
Yes, he does.
He's got a minute 25 to either get off his back or fight. And there he goes. So he's going to give up 3, and that's going to cut the score in half, 10-5 now with a minute 15 to go.
Potentially dangerous there. Oh, that takes the wind out of you to fight off your back for 30 seconds or so like Spear had to.
Yeah, Spear needs to get to his feet. I wouldn't be trying rolls and giving him a chance to get in on the arms like that. Stand up. You can't get put on your back if you're on your feet. That's all there is to it. Physically impossible. You can't give up back points if you're on your feet. Let's put it that way. And 5-0 going to be your final on the top half of your screen. Shoemaker of Hayes TMP going to be going for his 4th state championship tomorrow night at 126 pounds here in Hayes.
Well, it's gotten a little bit more difficult for Shoemaker.
Yeah, he's gone 2 complete matches this tournament. Pressure mounting maybe a little?
Well, I would think so. I can't imagine the pressure of going for 4. You know, that being said, he won 5-0. He won pretty handily, but you know, that's, we look at that. Well, he didn't pin or he didn't tech fall his opponent. We look at that as an ultra close match.
Didn't score for 2 periods.
Yeah,
though, for over 2 periods, for almost 5 minutes.
Looks like Spear will hold on.
(10-5) the final there. So Hunter Spear of Horton will be the person attempting to keep Shoemaker from making it 4 tomorrow night.
There's your all-senior final.
All-senior final at 126. 132-pound championship semifinal matches coming up after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Live from Gross Memorial Coliseum here on Smoky Hills Public Television. Troy Recheck, Mike Holliday, 132-pound championship semifinal matches coming up right now. Top half of your screen, it's going to be Caleb Studley of Phillipsburg taking on Brogan Humphrey, the defending sophomore state champion from Fredonia. Studley will be in the blue, Humphrey in those really cool looking socks.
Bumblebee socks.
Bottom half, well, they are though. The yellow jackets, I think that's the,
yep,
the Fredonia mascot. Bottom half of your screen, it's Riley Soward of Halstead. He'll be in the light blue, the midnight blue. Clay Mulligan of Scott City. Riley Soward with a quick takedown and a 2-0 lead with a minute 40 remaining here in the first.
Well, Soward certainly isn't a pushover. You know, Mulligan's a big favorite in this match, but Soward, I believe, a third-place finisher last year. I'll get that for you. Yeah, he took third at 130 pounds.
Soward had to spend a couple of years wrestling a former state champion by the name of Nick Tebow, who enjoyed very much so hitting that short fireman, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing that.
Did it unlike anybody that I have ever seen in high school wrestling. Just was a perfectionist at that. Also, Luke Tebow, a state runner-up last year. Mulligan, a state champion like Humphrey. Mulligan won it at 112 pounds. Now, that's a pretty substantial weight gain going from 120 to 132. Humphrey gets the takedown on Studley from Phillipsburg. Studley, a junior, 31-9, had a 4-3 win over Cody Calhoun of Mar Hill and a 6-2 win over Caney Valley's John Rodriguez. Humphrey won 16-1 over Tyler Rockwell of Marysville and 9-2 over Brent Juneman from Oberlin.
Stop of action there on the bottom half of your screen. Referee Ron Haig found something sharp stuck to the finger of Mulligan. He tossed it this way and somehow he got a staple stuck in his fingernail.
Ouch.
Don't know how that wound up on the mat, but can see where it wouldn't feel good for Mulligan and wouldn't feel good if it got used against Soward. So good
I'm
call
sure it's
there.
the newspaper guys. I'm sure they did it.
As many brackets and updates and stuff are around here, there's probably staples all over this place.
A lot of paperwork filtered through here. 3-0 Humphrey of Fredonia leading Studley of Phillipsburg, and 2-2 between Soward of Halstead and Mulligan of Scott City. Scott City 4A 2 years ago, and Mulligan was a third-place finisher at 112. Again, he won it last year, beating John Ryswick of Norton in the finals. As Humphrey on the top of your screen gets his second takedown of the match, is in command against Studley 5-0.
2-2 your score. Bottom half, Mulligan in the dark blue for Scott City in the top position. Soward of Halstead in the light blue and in bottom. 18 seconds left here in the opening act.
First period comes to a close, 2-2. We've got a good one. Semifinals at 132. Soward of Halstead and Mulligan of Scott City on the bottom of your screen. It'll be Soward's choice. He'll defer to Mulligan, who takes bottom. Scott City coached by longtime head coach John Lippelman. What a job he's done with that program.
Assistant Katie Conine. Longtime referee. Used to referee a lot of my matches when I was in high school. Now the assistant there at Scott City.
Were you at the Kurt Baker retirement gathering? I hear
was.
Lippelman was pretty funny.
Lippelman is a funny guy.
I don't know him that well, but boy, everybody who knows him says that is one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. Second period ends in the Humphrey and Studley match with Brogan Humphrey shutting out Studley 9-0. And it'll be Studley of Phillipsburg in the bottom position. And there on the bottom of your screen, what will Mulligan be able to do in the bottom position? He had a reversal in the first period.
And here comes Mulligan trying to come out the backside. He's going to get the reversal and take the early 4-2 lead here in the second period. 9-0 now, Humphrey of Fredonia.
Everybody, please get off the mats.
Minute 32, minute 30 and counting. Final period of that match. Top half of your screen. Again, Brogan Humphrey coming into this match 42-1 on the season, just a sophomore, returning state champion from last year.
He beat Calvin Oaks of Hoxie in the finals 2-1 at 125. We'll see Oaks in the next weight class at 138.
Switch, re-switch, step over. A lot of action, no points thus far. Mulligan still in control, says referee Ron Haig. And now a reversal, so Soward picks up 2, ties the match 4-4, 37 seconds left here in the second.
.25 seconds left in the match on the top of your screen. Humphrey of Fredonia 9-0.
Well, thus far, your predictions can still be right, except for one weight. Mike, you're doing well.
Yeah, I predicted Ryswick to win the state championship at 120. Everybody else who did not take Ryswick took Coe, though.
So you're both out.
So we're both out, yes.
I have to admit, I was on Coe myself.
Nine to nothing final. Humphrey of Fredonia looking good and heading to the finals for the second straight year.
Humphrey coached by Brent Lane, formerly the coach at Salina South.
Now we're into the final period of the Soward and Mulligan match. It'll be Riley Soward's choice, and he'll take bottom. Four to 4 is your score.
Tie match. Mulligan trying to work a tip. That's a great tip if he can get that in there. Here he comes. 1, 2.
Yep.
He's going to get a couple near fall here. A lot of times you can just keep a hold of that arm in between those legs there and set the match out that way. Wasn't able to there as Soward got back to his feet, but now a 3-point lead, so Soward's got a lot of work to do with just a minute left. A reversal won't do it.
Mulligan's so good in the top position. As you saw there, that was clutch.
Here he comes again. Over and back, so no points there. .30 seconds. 3-point lead for Mulligan in the top position for the Scotch City Beavers over Riley Soward of Halstead.
I think the finals match everybody wanted to see at 132, Humphrey and Mulligan. The only possible weight class where you could have state champions from last year meet up in the state championship this year.
And it appears that's how it's gonna be. 7-4, your final. Clay Mulligan picking up the momentum again for the Beavers and making it to the state championship match at 132 pounds. We'll be back with a 138-pound championship semifinal matches after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back to 3-2-1 State Wrestling Championships here on Smoky Hills Public Television. We're in the middle of championship semifinal matches. If you're just joining us, Mike Holliday alongside Troy Recheck, and we've got, oh boy, we've got some good matches here at 138 pounds. Brody Carroll of Marion will be taking on James Landell of Marysville. In the top half of the bracket, bottom half of your bracket, Calvin Oakes of Hoxie, Mason Hurla of St. Mary's.
I think Calvin Oakes a big favorite in this weight class, regardless of who he has. He's had a great year. 3 losses on the year. He's lost to Chris from Colby twice, and then lost to a Pine Creek, Colorado wrestler. They were at the Colby Duels. So he's faced some good competition, has beaten most of them, and I think has a good chance to win a state championship for the Indians. But we have seen upsets.
That match will be on the bottom half of your screen. There's an ankle pick by Oakes of Hoxie, trying to keep him on the mat. Pick up 2, and there he does. Oakes of Hoxie in the black, white, and red. Hurla of St. Mary's in the blue and white. Top half of your screen, Brody Croyle from Maryland, from Marion, not from Maryland, from Marion in the red, white, and blue. James Landell of Marysville in the black, red, and white.
4 regional champs in the semifinals in this weight.
It's the first weight I believe that's happened in.
Well, Calvin Oakes, an excellent mat wrestler. Some guys are just really sweet on their feet. Calvin prefers to get the takedown and then work you over on the mat. No score between Brody Croyle of Marion and James Landell of Marysville.
Trying to step over and get some near fall here. Over and back. Now he's got that cradle. Up, didn't quite get the cradle hooked up. I thought he was going to get that crossbody cradle there. And
it'll be 3 back points and a 5-0 lead as the first period winds down for Oakes.
now the far side cradle, trying to bring it across.
And Brody Carroll of Marion getting a takedown, although the referees are discussing it here. I think there's just a second left in the first period there. Oakes on the bottom of your screen in control 5-0. He'll take neutral, his choice.
Some sort of discussion there at the referees and timers table. No points awarded there. Gonna say 0-0 as we go into the second there in the Carroll and Landau match on the top half of your screen. 5-0 now. On the bottom half is Oakes of Hoxie is leading Hurla of St. Mary's. Oh, nice. Nice setup, toss, and now back points, just trying to keep him on the mat as Oakes trying to pick up the fall here. Hurla's thinking, just get my shoulder blades off the mat. Oakes not allowing it. Tough spot for the referee to be in. I think I'd rather be on the backside. There he goes. And he picks up the fall. So Oakes of Hoxie will be in the state championship match at 138 pounds.
Oakes, a junior, this will be his third title appearance. title match appearance, second the last couple of years to Dylan Shoemaker of TMP Marion and Humphrey of Fredonia last year. It's a 2-0 lead for Landell of Marysville. Now 2-1 as Carroll from Marion getting an escape. Carroll 41-2. The Marion wrestler. Marion wearing the red singlets this week. And Marysville the all black. Carroll had a first period fall over Zach Fisher of Smith Center and an 8-6 win over Sam Wilson of Rock Creek. He's close to getting a takedown, and there it is. No back points, though. Landell, meanwhile, a 14-1 win over Ryan Lahee of Erie, and a third period fall over Timmy Miller of Riverside.
.33 seconds remaining here in the second period. 3-2 the score, with Carroll of Marion on top.
This will be another weight class where we don't have a senior in the finals.
Pretty sure this is Carroll's third state appearance. He's been here the last couple of years, but just hasn't placed. Chance here to get into the championship match, though.
It's actually fifth last year at 130. So he's gone deep into the state tournament. Pretty good match, 3-3.
Locked up at 3 as we start the final 2 minutes. Carroll of Marion will be in the bottom position with Landall of Marysville on top. Here we go. Two-on-one ride here for Landall. Carroll trying to get to his feet. Down escape. So Carroll back up by 1 with 1:38 to work.
Marion's had some tough wrestlers here at state over the last few years. Always 2 or 3 that make a little noise when they're at state. And Marysville the same way. Long-time 4A program that dropped to 3A several years ago. And we've enjoyed having them in Hayes. They've certainly made a difference in the state tournament, as has Goodland and Scott City.
A lot of action, no points scored. Another shot by Landall. Not enough room. We'll come back, center up on our feet. See Andy Hansen there yelling some advice to Brody Carroll. He leads by 1 point, does the Marion wrestler with 27 seconds remaining. Ten seconds. Landall needs to try something here. He tries a toss. picked up the 2 with 2 seconds remaining. And James Landau of Marysville pulls it off in the end after trailing for the last minute and 30-some seconds to Brody Croyle of Marion. Landau of Marysville will face Oaks of Hoxie in the finals tomorrow night at 138 pounds. We'll be back with 145-pound semifinal action after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. 145-pound championship semifinal action coming up right now here live from Gross Memorial Coliseum on Smoky Hills Public Television. Top half of the bracket, it'll be Chance Damel at Poisington taking on Tegan Lambody, returning sophomore state champion from Rossville. And another Marysville wrestler up in the bottom half of the bracket. He's got to be feeling some momentum from that last second win by his teammate. It's Eddie Creek from Marysville who takes on Taylor Schutz of Atchison County.
Tegan Lambot of Rossville, fun to watch. Very good on his feet. He gets a takedown in about 6 seconds and lets Damel up and now has a 2-1 lead. And Eddie Creek of Marysville taking on Schutz of Atchison County. Creek with a nice regional championship last week in Russell. Had defeated Damel in the finals there.
Quick scores there on the top half of your screen. It's already 2-1 there. Takedown and escape. Takedown going to Lambot of Rossville. I believe he took him down and then let him up. He's been known to do that, so.
He certainly did, yeah. Got that takedown pretty quick, about 6 seconds into the match, finding the going a little tougher here.
.40 seconds and counting, 2-1. Top half of your screen. Here comes Lambot in on another shot. He's going to finish this one as well. I doubt he'll let him up with just 33 seconds left here. Leading 4-1 now is Lambot of Rossville.
Lambot, a state champion last year at 135 pounds. As a freshman, had a senior from Norton in the finals and won that match. And 4-1 at the end of the first period. Lambot of Rossville leading. 32-1. His lone loss in the Baser tournament. I tell you, Rossville wrestles they wrestle a tough schedule, as do most of the 3-2-1A schools these days. Go to some of the bigger tournaments. Norton goes to Newton and have for a while.
Colby duels, a lot of 3-2-1A schools going there.
Well, and those Colby duels have become tough. You've got bigger schools there. You've got some out-of-state schools that are really good.
Beloit, always a pretty tough tournament. So 1-0 your score now on the bottom half of the screen. An escape there for the Atchison County wrestler Schutz. Schutz 1, Creek 0, minute 20 left, second period.
And Lambot on the top of your screen, the all-red singlet. He's a sophomore from Rossville. He gets an escape and now leads 5-1 and is in a pretty comfortable position. That's the neutral position. Not so neutral, though, when you're that good on your feet. He's got an advantage over about anybody he faces.
stall warning. Oh, that's the second warning on Schutz from Atchison County, so that means a point. It's going to tie it up at 1. Creek of Marysville picking up on a penalty point.
You get this deep into the state tournament and on into the finals, the 3rd, 5th place matches tomorrow, and all the consolation rounds for that matter, you see stalling called a lot more readily than you do during the regular season. They want you active.
Of course, all of the wrestlers you've seen in this round are going to place at state this year. If they don't win another match, they will still get 6th place.
5-1 at the end of 2. Lambot of Rossville with the lead, and it'll be Damel's choice. He'll take bottom. We'll see if Lambot just lets him up, and that appears to be what he'll do.
So 5-2. Chance Demmel hanging in there pretty good, though. It's just a 3-point match here in the 3rd period. If he were able to get a takedown, that could really make things interesting. But Lambot again got him in a pretty precarious position. No points awarded just yet. And they're going to go off the mat. So again, Chance Demmel hanging right in there.
One to one, Eddie Creek of Marysville and Taylor
Schutz
of Atchison County with 1:27 left.
Semifinal overtime. Might see our first one of those so far tonight.
Well, this has been a tight one.
Peeling the hands, and here comes Creek with an escape. And now he's got a 1-point lead, 2-1. Minute 13 remaining in the match. Or should I say in regulation.
Eddie's older brother was a 3rd place finisher here, I believe 3 years ago. Ricky Creek. 7-3 on the top of your screen. Lambot leading Damel. Now Schutz really needs to get something going there on the bottom of your screen, trailing by a point. He has stall calls against him too. In fact, that's the difference in this match. Now a stall warning against Creek.
Two to one. And a final there. 7-3. Taking Lambot of Rossville over Chance Demmel of Hoisington. Tegan will be going for 2 in a row tomorrow night. 10 seconds and counting here, full screen. Schutz of Atchison County, Creek of Marysville, Creek up by 1. No points. That'll be a final, and it'll be back-to-back Marysville Bulldogs to work their way into the state championship match. Eddie Creek of Marysville will be the opponent of Tegan Lambot of Rossville tomorrow night at 145 pounds. We've got 152 pounds semifinal action next on Smoky Hills Public Television. Live wrestling coverage on Smoky Hills Public Television of the 321A State Wrestling Championships, and in this case, the semifinals from Gross Memorial Coliseum on the campus of Fort Hays State University. Continues now with 152 pounds and undefeated Kai Biddle, the second undefeated wrestler we've seen thus far here in the semifinals. Will be taking on Mark Smith of Rossville, Kai Biddle of Central of Burden. Mark Smith had an impressive tournament so far, though. A couple of first period falls to get to this point. Bottom half of the bracket at 152, it'll be Dalton Snyder of Hoxie taking on Jared Johnson of Pleasant Ridge.
Smith of Rossville, a 4th place finisher last year at 152. Kai Biddle, a state runner-up at 145 a year ago. So they're hooking up in one semifinal. Dalton Snyder was a 3rd place finisher last year for Hoxie at 145. We'll see what Jared Johnson did. I know he's been to state.
Off the mat there on the bottom half of your screen, that is Dalton Snyder of Hoxie in the black and red. The yellow and blue would be the Pleasant Ridge wrestler Jared Johnson.
And Johnson of Pleasant Ridge, a 5th place finisher last year at 140.
Kai Biddle with a quick takedown and near fall points coming. Mark Smith almost turned that around and put Biddle on his back, but wasn't quite able to. So 5-0 the lead for Kai Biddle. Top half of your screen, 52 seconds remaining.
Biddle made sure he didn't get himself in position to be put on his back.
Snyder in on a single. Getting around both legs and toes still in and up. That's going to be a 2-point takedown for Dalton Snyder. He continues his quest for the state career takedown record. I'll have to check with somebody and see how close he's getting.
Well, he's had a few in this state tournament, had a few at regionals last week. 30 in 2 tournaments, though, that's a pretty tall task. It's doable. But you figure you wrestle maybe, if he makes it to the final 7 matches between the 2 tournaments.
Yeah,
that's still pretty
a stretch.
Tough. That's a stretch.
Unless you do a lot to take him down and let him up.
Jared Johnson getting an escape.
Then again, think of all the matches that Dalton Snyder has missed out on this year. Hoxie tournament, first tournament of the year, got snowed out. All those matches are gone.
Panther Classic in Phillipsburg.
Snowed out. All those matches are gone. So
yeah, still has 30 matches. 2-1 Snyder of Hoxie, looking to become the 2nd Hoxie Indian into the finals, joining Calvin Oaks. And a 5-0 lead for Biddle of Central of Burden.
I think that's 7-0. Mark Smith trying to go with the muscle moves, and Kyle Biddle just too experienced of a wrestler to get muscled around. He is going to get called here for an illegal hold, though. They said he got a hold of Mark Smith's face. So it'll be 7-1. Minute 16 left.
Biddle's teammate last year, Tyler McMichael, who was a state runner-up at 152. His senior year, he's wrestling for Arc City this year at that same weight class Biddle's at 152. Boy, Biddle has just been in control. Surprises me it's been that lopsided thus far between Smith and Biddle.
Well, now with a 3-1 lead following that escape, Snyder going back to work on his feet. Looking for another takedown to pad that lead. 3-1 the score, minute 26 remaining, 2nd period, and they're off.
Biddle looking for some guillotine points, but not able to get them, but he didn't get himself out of position to give up a reversal and then consequently give up some back points. So a very aware wrestler, always aware of where he's at.
got there? More near fall for Biddle. I couldn't see through the coaches, but he's getting some more now.
Yep.
Ran out of time. Did he get the 2? That's the question.
Don't believe they are going to award him 2, so he'll take a 7-1 lead into the final period.
Oh, there they did.
There it is, 9-1. There's Snyder in on a single leg again. See if he can finish this.
23 seconds to work with it. He's got a 3-1 lead over Jared Johnson of Pleasant Ridge. Johnson now running with a front headlock. That's a great roll.
Wow.
Used to use that some when I was in high school.
Well, that ties it up.
Yep.
Boy, and lucky they were on the edge there, and there's not a whole lot of time left. Snyder could have given up some back points.
Yep. Ties it up with 2 seconds left. That roll works great when someone's expecting you to run it to an inside cradle. They're staying all stretched out where you can't get that leg, and you just go right underneath them.
Well, that's a big-time move by Johnson. His choice, and he'll take bottom. So what will Snyder be able to do here in the third period, tied up at 3? This has been a great match. Semifinals at 152.
Trying to work the head, got the legs in. Get the half there and see if he can't get enough space to get Jared Johnson turned over and get that lead back.
Stalemate situation there, so they call it with 1:17 left.
Still 9-1 on the top half of your screen with Kai Biddle, the undefeated wrestler from Central of Burden. In the lead with just a minute remaining. Pretty comfortable lead too. However, Mark Smith of Rossville has been a pinner this tournament, so anything can happen.
Well, he'll have to be on top in order to get a pinning combination, and he just isn't as he gets taken down again. Pretty slick takedown by Biddle.
11-1, 48 seconds left in the match. 3-3 on the bottom side of your screen. It's Snyder of Hoxie on top with 40 seconds remaining. See if he can get him turned here.
Boy, the referee stopped that move. Coach Porsche not liking the stopping of action. He was close to getting him turned over, but a potentially
almost had him.
situation. Yes, he did.
There's one for Johnson of Pleasant Ridge.
His first lead of the match.
Now here comes Snyder. 15 seconds to get a takedown here. Stall warning. Oh, how big is that intentionally or potentially dangerous call going to be now? 1 second left.
Wow.
Blow the whistle. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, and they give Johnson
on
a point.
the cake, but
Ends up being a 5-3 decision, all told, as Johnson from Pleasant Ridge wins it.
so your 152-pound state championship match tomorrow night will be between Jared Johnson of Pleasant Ridge and Kai Biddle of Central of Burden. We'll be back with 160-pound semifinals after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back to action at Gross Memorial Coliseum. Semifinal action is more precise here at the 3-2-1 State Wrestling Championships. It's Troy Rechek and Mike Holliday with the play-by-play, and at 160 pounds on the top half of your screen, it's going to be Colton Johnson of Marion in the red, white, and blue taking on Eric Albers, our third undefeated wrestler we've seen here in the semis from Oakley, representing the Plainsmen. And in the bottom half of your screen, it'll be Hunter Stalford of Caney Valley taking on Nick Withnow of Sacred Heart. Nick Withnow in the solid blue, red, white, and blue bullpup outfit for Stalford of Caney Valley, and Stalford with a quick takedown on Withnow.
Talked about the quarterfinals matchups at 160 pounds on the bottom side of the bracket. Derek Tyler, Hunter Stalford, Nick Withnow, and Matt Schneider. Locking horns there, Withnow and Stalford come away with the victories. This is a deep weight. There's some quality wrestlers here. And Eric Albers has been the class of this class, this weight class, throughout a majority of the year. Unbeaten, 33-0. And we see the Oakley senior on top of your screen against Colton Johnson of Marion. And there's a takedown and a 2-0 lead for Albers. Now Albers is a 4-time state qualifier but has yet to place.
And he's going to go optional start here. He can just cut him free and give him a point, but sometimes you like to leave a little intrigue on whether or not you're actually going to let him go or come around front to do some head work or try to hit a cradle. So a lot of people just still prefer to do the alternate start instead of just saying, hey, give him one, let's start on our feet.
Colton Johnson, 41-5. He had a second period fall over Cole Renner of Norton and a 7-2 decision over TJ Setter of Wabaunsee. Albers, meanwhile, a first period fall over Caden Housel of Cherryvale, and then a 4-2 decision over Jesse Nelson of Marysville.
Another takedown there for Albers right at the end of the first period. That's going to make it a 4-1 lead for the Oakley Plainsmen as we start period number 2. He's going to start in the bottom position.
I think sometimes a lack of success for 2 or 3 years at state really drives you that senior year, and it certainly has Albers, as he's been putting in a lot of extra time and running before school starts. He was at 152 pounds for a big portion of this season too, and could have stayed there pretty easily, but decided to not have to watch his weight closely. Things have worked out pretty well at 160. 5-1 lead for Albers now as he gets an escape.
2-1 the lead for Stalford of Caney Valley in the bottom half of your screen over Withnow of Sacred Heart of Salina. Minute 20 left here in the second as Stalford gets on and we start action back up again. There's an escape for Withnow, making a 2-2 tie. A minute 9 and counting. That's in the second.
Albers with yet another takedown, 7-1. Withnow of Sacred Heart, just a sophomore.
Again, wrestling as a cooperative with Southeast Saline.
Hunter Stalford with a third period fall over Stephen Yergi Dybel and a 7-5 win over St. Mary's Derek Tyler. Withnow, a third period fall over Caleb Gillis of Harrington and a 12-5 win over Phillipsburg's Matt Snyder. Albers of Oakley, top of your screen. Purple singlet in control in his match against Colton Johnson of Marion. 7-1 with 20 seconds left in the second.
126 pounders who's got 10 minutes left to weigh in.
Stalford-Wuthnow match, that's going to be decided in the third period, 2-2 at the end of the second. As Wuthnow gets a takedown right there. How about that? Wow.
In short time, final 2 seconds of the period, so he'll take a 4-2 lead into the third period, but the choice of position is going to go to Wolford, or Stalford rather, and he's going down. I don't think the scoring is over in this match yet.
I would say you're probably right. Wuthnow, a fifth place finisher last year at 152.
Fifth place finisher, you said?
Fifth place, yep. So he's up at 160 this year.
Albers just got hit with a standing Granby, but recognized it soon enough to only give away the reversal and not any back points. So that's going to make that match a little bit tighter. Johnson from Marion picks up a couple and now only trails 7-3. A 4-point match with 1:19 remaining in the final period.
Stalford of Caney Valley wrestled 145, qualified for state, but did not place last year. And there's Albers with the escape. Boy, Albers just making it look pretty easy on that one. Now leading 10-3.
Blood time still on the bottom half of your screen. Looks like Wuthnow is all cleaned up and we're ready to go back to work. 4-2 the lead for the Sacred Heart Wrestler as we start the third and final period. 2 minutes remaining in the match, with Stalford of Caney Valley on bottom and trailing by 2.
.13 seconds left. Albers will be headed to the 160-pound state championship. Who will he have in the finals, though? Will it be Stalford of Caney or Wuthnow of Sacred Heart? 10-3.
Going to be your final, 10-3 for Albers of Oakley. Over Johnson of Marion.
Wuthnow of Sacred Heart has really been going to work on Stalford. He's had Stalford broken down throughout a pretty big majority of this third period. Stalford finally gets up to somewhat of a base, but not able to do a whole lot.
.45 seconds. Still a 2-point lead. I might have been wrong when I said their scoring probably wasn't over. Wuthnow's done a very good job in the top position of preventing even escape by Stalford. So we're down to 25 seconds
And he's not merely riding, he's
working.
He's working.
Trying to dig that arm right now for a tip. Now going back up top. Quick set, now looking for a cradle. Edge of the mat. That's going to do it. I was wrong. No more scoring in that match in the third period. 4-2 the final. Nick Wuthnow of Sacred Heart will be in the finals, attempting to win a state championship against the undefeated Eric Albers of Oakley tomorrow night at 160 pounds. We've got 170 pounds semifinal action next on Smoky Hills Public Television.
This presentation of 3-2-1A State Wrestling on Smoky Hills Public Television is made possible in part by an underwriting grant from Rural Telephone and Nextech. Providing the region with telephone, internet, cable television, and wireless phone solutions, Rural Telephone and Nextech proudly support public broadcasting and all ventures dedicated to improving Kansas communities.
3-2-1A State Wrestling action from Gross Memorial Coliseum here on Smoky Hills Public Television. Semifinal round. Championship semifinals, I should clarify. It's 170-pound weight class. Top half of the bracket, Jesse LeMay of Wellsville taking on Jason Berkran of the Oakley Plainsmen. Oakley trying to get 2 in a row in the state championship match. And in the bottom half, we've got Nathan Tifo of Plainville and Riley Hunziker of Ellis.
For the Hunziker-Tifo match, this is a battle of a wrestler who went up in weight against one who went down in weight. Tifo, right before regionals, was a 182-pounder and went down to 170. Hunziker was 160 all year and went up to 170. I think a pretty good decision by both wrestlers as Berkran gets taken down by LeMay, a state runner-up a year ago from Wellsville. Pretty quick takedown for Jesse LeMay, the senior.
LeMay in the red and blue. Of course, Berkran of Oakley, as we just saw with Albers of the Plainsmen, in the purple. And in the bottom half of your screen, Hunziker of Ellis in the orange and black, and Tifo in the solid black.
Here's
Berkran in
LeMay
trouble again.
Back points on Berkran. And it's a 5-0 lead. Tifo of Plainville just 24-11 and just finished 4th at regionals last week. Plainville, of course, going to the Lakin Regional, but was certainly right in every match. Boy, and LeMay close to pinning Berkran.
Berkran trying to circle around. Oh, wasn't able to. So first period fall by LeMay of Wellsville will send him to the state championship match tonight. He'll await the winner of Nathan Tifo of Plainville and Riley Hunziker of Ellis.
And a scoreless first period, it looks like. Riley Hunziker took 4th in state last year. Did not qualify his sophomore year, but was a state runner-up as a freshman. At 112 pounds, lost to Troy Boehner of Norton for the state title 3 years ago. So he'd like to be back in the finals.
Pretty much tell just looking at them as they're standing there which one went up a weight and which one came down one.
Yep.
Quick switch. Attempted step over. Just missed it by Tifo. So Hunziker picks up the reversal and leads 2-0 early here in the second. with the breadbasket. It's not, got to get his body out of the way a little bit more. The shoulder blades of Tifo are still parallel because Hunziker's body is in the way. There's an escape.
All that, it's actually Tifo that scores the point with an escape.
Yep.
Hunziker is good at that, and I've seen him do that to a lot of wrestlers over the years.
Right here's a good spot to do it, but he was able to sprawl out. When they get in deep on him, single leg. Good time to hit it. Gonna step over here. Pick up 2, but no near fall. So 4-1 the lead for Hunziker of Ellis over Tifo of Plainville. 35 seconds, second period. There's a tip. A 1 count isn't going to do it.
He's been close to getting back points on a couple of occasions. Harrison Gillen for Plainville, the #1 ranked wrestler at this weight throughout most of the year, not on the team at the end of the year, so Tifo decided to go down in weight. I think that's been a pretty good decision for him. But he is trailing in this semifinal match to Riley Hunziker of Ellis, 4-1. A couple of Mid-Continent League wrestlers in the semifinals. There's a quick escape for Tifo.
132 pounders, you have about 10 minutes left to weigh in. 132 pounders, about 10 minutes left.
Four to 2. Hunziker of Ellis in the orange and leading by 2. Wrestlers on their feet. 1:28 remaining in the third period here.
Tifo with a couple of tight matches in his first 2. 4-2 win over Clay Kosand of Rock Hills, a regional champion, then a 6-4 win over Trevor Sutton of Rock Creek. Hunziker has an 18-3 win over Hagen Hanslick of Hoisington, and then Josh Hoke of Burlington won 7-0 in the quarterfinals.
Down to the final minute. Again, Tifo's got to get something going here. Hunziker with a 2-point lead, 4-2. Tifo, almost. Not enough room, so we'll start again with 42 seconds left. Seconds. Tifo needs to get started on a setup of some kind. Get something going here.
And not really doing much until that shot.
Working the edge of the mat, that's not his friend right now. He needs to try to keep it in the middle so he can finish something if he gets it started. There was a shot. Stall warning on Hunziker. Going to be a little too late, I think, though, with 9 seconds remaining, and Hunziker gets to control whether or not they stay on the mat. They're out with 3, 4-2. Hunziker of Ellis. Clock didn't start. Oh, no. Wow, that could have been an ugly confrontation had that takedown occurred because that clock did not start for
No
about 2
instant
seconds.
replay in high school wrestling either, so luckily they didn't need it there, and Hunziker advances to the finals to face Jesse LeMay of Wellsville.
Back with your 182-pound championship semifinal matchups after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back at Gross Memorial Coliseum here on the campus of Fort Hays State University. I'm Troy Recheck, Mike Holliday alongside as we cover the 3-2-1A State Wrestling Championship semifinals. Work for the Department of Redundancy Department, don't I, Mike?
Sometimes we all do. We've seen a lot of matches today. We've been behind the microphone quite a bit, so we'll cut you a little slack.
Top half of the bracket at 182 pounds. It's Eric Hellerud of the Hoisington Cardinals taking on Tyler Lowe of Eureka. That'll be on the top half of your screen as well. Black, white, and red is Hoisington. Blue, white, and red is Eureka. Tyler Lowe of Eureka with a quick 2-point takedown right there. So he'll be in the top position to help you better identify. So he leads 2-0 early. Bottom half of your screen, it's Brock Long of Southeast of Saline taking on Brandon Salmons of Hoxie. Hoxie in the black and red. Southeast of Saline in the purple. No score there with 1:20 left in the first.
Brock Long, a state runner-up last year at 171 pounds, lost to Spencer Shirk of Norton 2-1 in the finals. Tyler Lowe on the top of your screen was a third-place finisher at 189, actually down to 182 this year, and has had a great year. Brock Long's only loss this season, Southeast of Saline wrestler, to Tyler Lowe early on. But he's got Salmons here, has the makings of a pretty good contest.
Lowe of Eureka riding tight on Hellerud of Hoisington on the top half screen. Again, he's with the 2-0 lead, and Hellerud just got warned for stalling already here in the first.
Hellerud 2-2 in
cradle.
state last year.
Lowe with a cradle and more back points coming, or back points coming. A fall. So Lowe of Eureka with a pin over Hellerud of Hoisington, and he will be in the championship match at 182 tomorrow night.
So we got full screen now, Salmons and Long. Pretty good first period, 0-0. Long 2 pins en route to the semifinals. Had a second period pin over Braden Lockhart of Silver Lake and a first period fall over Scott Hyman of TMP. Salmons had a forfeit win over Luke Plummer of Fredonia, and then a second period fall over Levi Hunnicky of Sabetha.
Long in with the legs. Now working, trying to get a guillotine. Nearly had it, but lost the leg. Salmon's able to get his leg out, so he's going to come out and score the point. The escape there makes this a 1-0 match with the Hoxie wrestler in the lead. 1:20 remaining in the second.
Well, it's a game of inches. And Long so close to getting back points. But it's Salmons coming out on top with the escape and a 1-0 lead. Long has that single leg sucked in deep, though.
He's going to score it. Switches it over to a double, keeps the toes in, and picks up 2-1 now. Back and forth match here, with Long of Southeast of Saline now leading Salmons of Hoxie.
Both these wrestlers had pretty good older brothers. Braden Long, a good wrestler for Southeast of Saline, and Brandon Salmons, the younger brother of somebody by the name of Dylan Salmons, a two-time state champion for Hoxie.
First ever Hoxie heavyweight state champion, or 285 as they call it.
285, now. Yeah, it'll always be heavyweight to me. And do they mind being called heavyweights? I don't think so.
No.
Salmon's trailing 2-1 to Long at Southeast.
"18 seconds remaining here in the second. Salmons would like to get at least an escape and get this tied back up going into the final period.
138 pounders, you got about 10 minutes left. Make weight, 138 pounders. You have about 10 minutes left.
Nice step through. Salmons is going to give up some points here in short time. 10 seconds. Two, one, 3 more points coming. It's going to be a 5-1 match. It's a great step through by Brock Long of Southeast of Saline. His choice, and he gets to go down. A lot of work to be done for Salmons of Hoxie.
Yeah, what will he be able to do in the top position? It'll be hard to keep Long down. He is active off the whistle.
And he's not able to. To our feet we go and escape, and now a 6-1, 5-point lead for Long of Southeast of Saline, and he's back in on another good single leg. With the trip, a double, and he's getting the legs back in to work at the head some more. 8-1 the lead for Long of Southeast of Saline.
Been a pretty dominating last 3.5 minutes or so by Long. Maybe just 2.5 minutes. He's just really piled on the points. Actually trailed 1-0, so 8 unanswered.
Just been notified that Brock Long's father is the Holcomb coach. Under a minute, 50 seconds and counting, final period. Long pretty comfortably in the lead, 8-1. 182 pounds, looking for who's going to take on Tyler Lowe of Eureka, who won by fall over Hellerud of Hoisington to ensure his spot in the championship match tomorrow night.
I like the idea of a Long-Low rematch. I think that's going to be a dandy at 182.
With 20 seconds remaining, I think that's what you're going to get. And the clock winds down. That'll be your final 8-1 Long over Salmons. And you'll get your rematch tomorrow night for the state championship at 182. We're going to find out who's going to be wrestling for the state championship at 195 next on Smoky Hills Public Television. More 3-2-1A state wrestling championship semifinal action continues here on Smoky Hills Public Television at 195 pounds, where we've got Jeff Shaw of Oberlin taking on Colt Castleberry of Douglas. That match on the top half of your screen. And Lane Hurl of Goodland taking on Josh McDowell of Smith Center. That match on the bottom half of your screen. Castleberry of Douglas in the purple. Shaw of Oberlin in the red and white. Of course, Hurl of Goodland in the black and yellow, and McDowell of Smith Center, the red, white, and green. Nice pass by Hurl. Can he climb up? He's got his toes in. He's got to get up around the waist, and Bill Martin says yes. That's 2. 2-0, the early lead for Hurl of Goodland over McDowell of Smith Center.
Both wrestlers have looked impressive in their first 2 matches. Lane Hurl, a first period fall against Eric Hirschberger of Stafford, and a 17-0 shutout win over Tristan Spear of Donovan West. Josh McDowell wins 9-1 over Cody Falconer of Oakley and 15-0 in his last match in the quarterfinals against Augie Schmidt of Blueston.
2-point takedown, 2-point near fall for Castleberry of Douglas. He's up 4-0 with 40 seconds left here in the first over Shaw of Oberlin.
And Shaw got to the semifinals with a second period fall against Jake Brazel of Riley County and a third period fall over Ryan Anderson of Council Grove. Castleberry has 2 pins against Cody Smallwood of Mission Valley and Caton Janisek of Hoisington. Castleberry on the top of your screen, a state runner-up from last year at 189.
Stack and a fall. Got him stacked up and picked up the quick pin. Did Castleberry of Douglas over Shaw of Oberlin.
There have been a few pins.
Yes, there has. More than I expected.
Absolutely. Castleberry losing in the finals last year to Tate Omley of El Saline.
He's going to get another shot at it. So we come off the mat directly in front of us here with the Hurl McDowell match. Hurl leading that one 2-0. McDowell readjusting the bearings after hitting the basketball floor instead of the wrestling mat. That's why they call fouls in basketball and not in wrestling, I guess.
That's right. Hurl with a first period takedown and a 2-0 lead as we enter the second period.
Quickly to his feet and able to get free for now a 3-0 lead. Hurl over McDowell, 1:45 remaining in the second. Nice ankle pick.
Now Hurl just slick on his feet.
5-0 now the lead. 1 minute, just a little over a minute remaining here in the second.
McDowell finished in 5th place last year at 189 pounds, and Lane Hurl, your 4th place finisher.
Did they meet in the consolation semis?
They did not.
McDowell trying to come around. Hurl just keeping hold of the ankle. We've got potentially dangerous. We'll start again. Here comes a switch, step over. Not quite enough of a step over as McDowell gets behind and picks up his first 2 points of the match. Still trails 5-2, 40 seconds left, second period.
McDowell's going to give you everything he's got every second of the match. But it'll be tough to turn over Lane Hurl, and ultimately that's what McDowell's going to need somewhere in this match.
Got the hand, the arm up above the head. stalemate. Is this Smith Center's only semifinalist?
I believe so.
That's for a team that's had 3 state championships and 1 runner-up in the last 5 years, but it happens to L programs. They'll be back.
Hurl gets some back points out of that, and a 7-2 advantage, now 9-2. So reversal and back points. Now Smith Center actually had a pretty good regional tournament, qualified 7 for state. They have struggled here.
McDowell had something working, but Hurl able to counter, come back between the legs and around, and maintain a 9-2 lead.
Still a minute 19 left. Lane Hurl with a 7-point lead on Josh McDowell. So the match isn't over, but you know, this is one that you're really glad that Castleberry and Hurl were on opposite sides of the bracket, because throughout the year they have by far been the best 2 at 195 pounds.
Well, and you have one to pick in your brackets, and I've got the other one picked in mine. So.
Yeah, Castleberry with a state runner-up last year. I took him. Flip a coin, though. I think it'll be a great match. One of the really competitive matches I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow night in the finals, if Hurl can hold on here against McDowell for the next 63 seconds.
And as you mentioned, you're going to get it all from McDowell. There's not going to be any quit in the next 63, so anything can happen. Had to turn away from that move before giving up more back points to Hurl. Blanket ride by Hurl, and I'm not sure.
And they called that a reversal on McDowell and then one from Hurl.
But they only put the reversal for McDowell up. I think Phil Martin was trying to signify that really wasn't 2.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to either take that 2 points away or add 2 more to Hurl's total to get the score accurate.
Yeah, called that a little early.
So the scoreboard says 9-4, but it's actually either 11-4 or 9-2.
195 pounders, you have until 8:52 to weigh in. 8:52 to weigh in. 195.
At any rate, Hurl will win it.
And
I don't think I'll fill in a score quite yet on that one.
yeah, Coach Tramnick asking the same thing. He's asking his scorekeeper, what did you have? Probably going to go over and check with the table.
Well, that's a big semifinal win for the Goodland Cowboys. And they'll have another opportunity here with Riley O'Hara and Tanner Taylor of Burlington.
Chances, championship match is almost filled up. We've got 2 weights remaining to complete our matches for tomorrow night. We'll do that after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. Back with 220-pound semifinal matches here at Grossman Memorial Coliseum. Back to that last match before the break. I don't know how they decided the score on that, but it wouldn't have mattered if it's a 7-point win either way, which is just a decision. An 8-point win would have been an extra point for the Goodland team total, but in that instance, it really didn't make much difference.
Yeah, talking about the Hurl match, he had a 7-point win over McDowell. of Smith Center. So we'll see what that is. Not certainly not a big deal right now. We're at 220 pounds. Top side of the bracket, Riker Greenbaum of Douglas against Austin Veach of Donovan West. Tanner Taylor of Burlington takes on top-ranked Riley O'Hara of Goodland.
Top half of your bracket, both of these wrestlers, big surprises to me. Not that they're here, because that side of the bracket looked kind of up for grabs to me anyway, but I've been very impressed with both of them, both Greenbaum of Douglas and Veach of Donovan West. Again, Greenbaum of Douglas in the purple and white, Donovan West the blue and orange.
Well, Greenbaum upsetting a regional champion in his quarterfinal match. He beat Jason Bahia 4-2. We see O'Hara from Goodland getting a takedown on the bottom of your bracket. O'Hara with the black singlet in the top position. And no score between Greenbaum of Douglas and Veach of Donovan West.
O'Hara of Goodland again in the black with the yellow cowboy. And Taylor of Burlington in the white, black, and red. Again, with the changes of the weight class this year, years ago this would have been considered heavyweight.
That's right.
From 189 to anything above 189, but then they went to 215 and 275, and then 215 and 285, and now they've got 220 and 285. Kids just keep getting bigger.
And that's the whole purpose of adding an upper weight class. There's a lot of, using last year as an example, there's a lot of difference between 189 and 215. That's a lot of weight in there. So I don't know. I'm not one that really cares for change that much. I like the old weight classes. 50% of your wrestlers are between 125 and 145. I won't go off on a tangent here, so I promise that. But then you add an upper weight. But it is what it is, and some pretty good wrestlers at all these upper weights. And some pretty deep weights too. 195 has several quality wrestlers. Still no score in the match on the top of your screen. Greenbaum of Douglas and Veach of Donovan West. Riley O'Hara of Goodland, 36-1, had a 43-second fall over Joey Capul of Garden Plain in a 5-0 decision against Emery Elias of Council Grove. Tanner Taylor eked out a couple of one-point wins over Kane Washington of Hoxie and Cody Bott of Hoisington. O'Hara leads 3-0.
Yeah, Tanner Taylor, a couple of close matches, huh? Both of them one-point matches to get here. 5-4 over Washington of Hoxie and 6-5 over Bott of Hoisington. Veach, Donovan West was getting near fall. Yep, he's going to pick up 2 for the cradle on Greenbaum of Douglas, and he'll take the lead now. 2-0, 37 seconds remaining, second period. It's top half of your screen.
Riley O'Hara of Goodland with the 3-0 advantage. His opponent Tanner Taylor of Burlington. Burlington with 1 already in the finals. Ilbrader at 120 pounds.
Second period comes to an end, still 3-0. Riley O'Hara of Goodland over Tanner Taylor of Burlington. And Taylor of Burlington chooses down. So O'Hara on top with a 3-0 lead. Final 2 minutes of the match.
O'Hara has a good chance to win this weight class. He was 1-2 at state last year.
Some marked improvement.
O'Hara's only loss was in the finals of the Bob Kuhn Prairie Senior Classic Tournament in Hayes to Cash Driley, second-ranked wrestler in Class 5A. And Veach of Donovan West on the other mat, top of your screen, with a 2-0 lead over Greenbaum of Douglas.
Greenbaum with the ultimate start and then went in for the cradle like I spoke of earlier, and he almost got it hooked up. Instead of letting him go, he went right inside. And Veach able to roll through. Now Veach has Greenbaum in trouble. He's gotten the reversal, so 4-0 right now. See if he's in. Yep, they're signaling 3 near fall coming his way as well. It's going to be a 7-0 match. That match getting out of hand quickly here in the third period. Just over a minute left. 7-0. Veach of Donovan West over Greenbaum of Douglas.
And O'Hara of Goodland with a 3-1 lead with a minute left over Tanner Taylor of Burlington. Now Taylor has a quick shot, as you see right there.
Chance to tie it up here. O'Hara, great counter.
Yeah, you're going to be tough to finish it against O'Hara.
Well, and O'Hara is so much longer in height and stature than what Tanner Taylor is. If he can get that sprawl on, Tanner's in a bit of trouble. Little blood time here. Uh-oh. Almost a last-second pin. Oh, my. For Greenbaum of Douglas, he was trailing 7-0, got a reversal, and was within a second picking up the fall there on Veach of Donovan West, but Veach holds on 7-4 and found himself a spot in the 220-pound state championship match.
Now, what would have happened with another 12 seconds or so in that match?
Another 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, again, 1-3 match between O'Hara and Taylor. And blood time, going to give them both a little bit of a rest. We should have a pretty exciting final 37 seconds to this one as well. Takedown for Taylor would tie it. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Burlington crowd on their feet. Taylor going full bore, and a stall warning on O'Hara. 23 seconds.
Yeah, Taylor's going after him.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like a couple of 45-pounders out there with all the activity.
And he's in pretty deep. We'll see if O'Hara can get the legs back and get a sprawl on. There he's able to fight it off. Smart move when he got to the edge to go ahead and push Taylor out to where he wasn't the one backing out this time. Taylor looks to be a little bit gassed. Low single attempt, and O'Hara comes around, and that's going to probably do it for the match. It is 2-1, 5-1 the score. Riley O'Hara of Goodland in the finals at 220 pounds against Austin Veach from Donovan West. We'll set our final championship match for tomorrow night, tonight, after this on Smoky Hills Public Television. So here we go, the final 2 two matches of the evening. It's the 285-pound championship semifinal matches here at the 3-2-1A state tournament. Gross Memorial Coliseum, Fort Hays State University. Top half of your screen, it's going to be Trevin Edelman of Sabetha taking on Clay Wilcox of Chaparral. Edelman in the darker blue and gray. Chaparral already switched out of their blue uniforms, I guess, in the white. Bottom half of your screen, it's the undefeated Luke Hayes of Scott City, the fourth and final undefeated wrestler in this tournament. The other three are all in the finals. Hayes of Scott City in the blue, taking on English of Beloit in the orange, and we expected this one to be a good one from the minute we saw the brackets.
Yeah, absolutely. Hayes, a state champion last year at 215.
English in. Not able to finish just yet, but he's getting closer, and there he does. So the first 2 points of the match go to English of Beloit.
We mentioned earlier that Dylan Shoemaker has committed to go to Wyoming, as has Jacob English, but he will be playing football. Shoemaker will wrestle, English will play football at the next level. Heck of a takedown there on the champ from Scott City, Hayes.
Escape and a takedown now for Hayes, making it a 3-2 lead for him. 54 seconds remaining. English following in the shoes of Boyle from Norton. Didn't he also go play at Wyoming?
He did.
Also a heavyweight wrestler.
Two-0 lead. Edelman of Sabetha taking down Wilcox of Chaparral.
Uh-oh. Hayes has English on his back. Near fall being awarded, but only of the 2-point style, if you will. It's 5-2 now. Hayes over English. Still 17 left in the first. This isn't going to be one of those 1-1 ties.
No, it's not. You've got a couple of really go after it heavyweights here.
First period comes to an end. 5-2. Hayes over English. Crowd that's remaining actually applauding how much action took place there in that first period. Don't see that a lot in a heavyweight match.
No, they went after it. And even though English trails by 3 points, he got the first takedown. So he went after it every bit as much as Hayes did. Edelman continuing to lead in his match at the top of your screen, 2-1 over Wilcox of Chaparral.
Oh. English to his feet, wasn't able to peel the hands. Now Hayes nearly had English tipped over, but no predicament points awarded. We got a 2-1 match now on the top half of your screen. Still the lead for Edelman of Sabetha, but Wilcox does pick up an escape.
Wilcox has spent a majority of the year ranked either #1 or #2. One of his losses was to Hayes in the finals of the Garden City tournament several weeks ago. Hayes on the bottom of your screen really doing a nice job here in the second period in the top position.
Second period comes to an end. Edelman says, I'll go down. Down, but leading 2-1 over Wilcox of Chaparral. Final 2 minutes.
talk about how important that first takedown is. It's especially important with these 285-pounders.
And an escape makes it a 3-1 match. Takedown now by Wilcox of Chaparral will tie it up. 1:45 remaining. Still 5-2, no points scored since about the first 35 or 40 seconds of the match on the bottom half of your screen. Hayes of Scott City with his choice. He chooses the bottom position as we start the final two.
And there's an escape and a 6-2 lead for Hayes. English 30-1 and Hayes 34-0.
Hayes with the front headlock and a 6-2 lead. Pushing for the trip, but ran out of mat. English looks like he's getting a little bit tired. Either that or injured, one or the other. Does take some injury time, so perhaps he's got an injury of some kind.
Edelman with a takedown, and he will win it 5-1. I would consider that to be a slight upset.
Yeah, I would too.
160 pounders, you got 10 minutes left to make weight. 160 pounders, you got 10 minutes left.
Coach Brown of Sabetha always seems to find a way to get at least one in there. I don't think he likes to not be involved in the finals.
Yeah. He is the rankings coordinator for 321A, so
puts in a lot of extra hours and takes a lot of heat for no pay.
For no pay, that's right. I certainly wouldn't want to do it for something that ultimately doesn't matter. It matters to a lot of people.
Right.
Now we'll see what English can do here in the final 40 seconds.
Down
Last
by
match
4.
of the evening.
Needs at least a 4-point move to tie, a 5-point move to win it, but he's only got 30 seconds and needs to get to work now. Going in low. Front headlock by Hayes, stalemate.
And really the only way to win this is a throw.
A toss, right. Yeah, he's going to have to. For a short fireman's or something of that variety, but you don't see that very often, if ever, in the 285-pound weight class. Hayes in on a single leg. That's going to wrap it up, I think. He's going to pick up 2 more and win it 6-2, 8-2, make that. So Hayes of Scott City will be in the championship match at 285 against Edelman of Sabetha tomorrow night. Well, I don't know how the team scores are at this moment. I guess we can let you know how they were coming in, and then as we run through all the matchups, kind of keep track of wins and losses and maybe get a range of where they might be. But as close as they were coming in, I don't think we'll be that specific. Scott City was leading with 40 points coming into this round.
And 3 in the finals for Scott.
Right. Hoisington was second with 37. Marysville was third with 31.5. They got 2 in.
Right.
Goodland was fourth with 29. They got 2 in. Correct. Pearl and
O'Hara.
Hoxie was fifth with 28. They got 1 in. Burlington was 6th with 24th, tied with Rossville. Rossville got Lambot. Did Burlington get anyone in?
Elbrader at 120.
Norton was 8th with 22.
And Norton with no one in the finals.
That's a first in quite a few years. Caney Valley and Marion were tied for 9th with 20. Marion got one in. Carroll? Correct.
Carroll.
No, he lost at the very end.
Yeah, that's right.
And Johnson, I believe, lost at the very end too.
Yeah, he lost to Albers.
And then 11th place was Oakley and Douglas with 18. Oakley got 2, not 1 in. And I'm not sure about Douglas. All right, let's run through the matchups. What you're going to be seeing tomorrow night here on Smoky Hills Public Television. State championship matches for 2012. At 106 pounds, it's going to be Ty Ninke of Ellsworth. He's been the Cinderella story thus far this tournament. He is just a sophomore for one. Got 4th place in his regional and has won his way into the state championship match, and he'll be taking on a two-time runner-up.
Two-time runner-up.
Two-time runner-up in Trey Franska from Chase County, Cottonwood Falls.
At 113 pounds, Joey DeFore of Dexter, now 35-0. He had a 7-6 win in his semifinal match. That was a hard-fought win over Keegan Amos of Holcomb. And his opponent in the finals, how about James Juergens of Scott City coming into the finals? 3 wins, of course, on the front side of the bracket today, and Juergens 30-12. So he has 12 losses on the year, but he had an impressive 15-0 win over Marshall Schottler of Lyons in the semifinals. So DeFore of Dexter and Juergens of Scott City in the finals at 113.
And Schottler of Lyons, a regional champ that Juergens just handled. Technical fall there to get in. I was very impressed with that freshman, but then again, DeFore, as you said, undefeated on the season, no losses. That ought to be a good one to watch tomorrow. At 120 pounds, it is Brandon Ball of Hoisington. He got in with a 4-0 win over John Ryswick of Norton this evening. Ball will be taking on Burlington's representative here in the finals. That is Jake Elbrader of Burlington. He won 8-4 over Coe of Scott City. I did not have either one of those in my brackets, so I'm kind of interested to see that matchup just because they were both unexpected to be there.
Well, there's not a single person that had Ball and Elbrader in the finals just because of the state success that Ryswick and Coe have enjoyed. And of course, they were 1-2 in the regional last week in Lake, and widely regarded the strongest regional. So a couple of upsets there at 120 pounds, but you have some tough wrestlers. I think Ball from Hoisington will be tough to beat. At 126, no surprise here, Dylan Shoemaker of TMP Marion will be going for his 4th state championship. He had a 5-0 win over Justin Wagner of Atchison County. Shoemaker coming in with a 28-3 record, and his opponent will be a pretty good one. He's actually 39-2, so even a little bit better record than Shoemaker. It's Hunter Spear of Horton. Spear had a 10-5 win over Alec Hager of Norton in the semifinals. So Shoemaker and Spear in the finals at 126 pounds tomorrow night.
Keep in mind that Spear was actually beating Hager of Norton 10-0 before getting caught and giving up a reversal and 3 back points. At 132 pounds, a returning state champion, someone that still has hopes alive to become a 4-time state champion, although he's got a lot of work ahead of him. It is Brogan Humphrey of Fredonia, a sophomore that's a defending state champion from last year. Humphrey beat Caleb Studley this evening of Phillipsburg 9-0 to get into the championship match, and he'll be taking on Clay Mulligan of Scott City. Mulligan with a 7-4 win over Riley Soward of Halstead. Humphrey of Fredonia, Mulligan of Scott City, your state championship match tomorrow night at 132 pounds.
And what's intriguing about that matchup is both wrestlers won state last year. Humphrey was your 125-pound state champion, and Mulligan won it at 112 pounds. So that's going to be one of those, I think, 3 or 4 matchups that you're really going to circle and enjoy. It's state champion versus state champion at 132. 138 points. Well, we saw a last-second win for James Landell of Marysville. 5-4 over Brody Carroll of Marion. We also talked about how this was the, I believe, the only weight class. We'll have to double check that. At least early on it was, that had 4 regional champions in the semifinals. Now Landau again comes away with a 5-4 win over Brody Carroll of Marion to move on to the finals. And Landau will take a 23-2 mark into the finals. His opponent will be Calvin Oakes of Hoxie. Oakes so far with 2 pins and a 9-2 decision in his 3 matches. Oakes had a second period fall over Mason Hurla of St. Mary's in the semifinals. So Oakes will be in the finals against Landau, and Oakes will take a 29-3 record into the state championship tomorrow night.
Landau, of course, had a teammate showing up in the semifinals right after him for the Marysville Bulldogs, and that last second win over Carroll of Marion might have been just what Eddie Creek needed for a little extra boost, as Eddie Creek comes up and picks up on a 2-1 close finish win over Taylor Schutz of Atchison County. So Eddie Creek of Marysville in at 145. That is back-to-back Marysville wrestlers in the championship match. Creek will be taking on Tegan Lambot of Rossville, another wrestler that still has a lot of work to do, but has a chance, which a lot of kids don't after their freshman year, to be 4-time state champions. Tegan Lambot, a defending state champion sophomore from the Rossville Bulldogs. That's a Bulldog versus Bulldog matchup. We're going to see who let the dogs out at 145 pounds tomorrow night.
Ooh, I should boo you for that one. 152 pounds. We have another unbeaten wrestler in the finals. Again, all 4 unbeaten wrestlers made it to the finals. Kai Biddle of Central of Burton, an 11-1 victory over Mark Smith of Rossville. One of those semifinal matches we were really looking forward to seeing. Biddle had a 5-point move very early on, and that match was just never in doubt. 11-1 was the final. So Kai Biddle moves on to the finals, and Biddle's opponent will be Jared Johnson of Pleasant Ridge, a 5-3 win over Dalton Snyder of Hoxie. So Biddle coming in with a 39-0 mark. Johnson will enter the finals at 38-2. Biddle and Johnson for the finals at 152 pounds.
And at 160 pounds, wrestling for the state championship 2012. Tomorrow night here on Smoky Hills Public Television, it's going to be yet another undefeated wrestler. You made your predictions that all the undefeated wrestlers would make it through this tournament and still be undefeated, which I don't think I've ever seen in my life, but it's a chance. They're all still in the finals. Eric Albers being one of them for the Oakley Plainsmen. He won 10-3 over Colton Johnson of Marion, and he'll be taking on Nick Wuthnow of Sacred Heart, who of course wrestled throughout the season with Southeast of Saline in a cooperative. Wuthnow winning 4-2 this evening over Hunter Stalford of Caney Valley. So it'll be Albers of Oakley, Wuthnow of Sacred Heart for the state championship at 160 pounds tomorrow night.
And 170, we have a runner-up from a year ago in Jesse LeMay of Wellsville. He had a first period fall over Oakley's Jason Berkran. So LeMay will take a 40-2 mark into his second straight state championship match. And his opponent, Riley Hunsaker of Ellis Hunsaker, survived Nathan Tifo of Plainville 4-2 was the final. Hunsaker wins the semifinal match. So Hunsaker will go in at 27-4, and LeMay again 40-2 on the year. Finals at 170.
And at 182 pounds, wrestling for your state championship tomorrow evening, it's going to be Tyler Lowe of Eureka, a wrestler that will come in with a nearly unblemished record. Tyler Lowe would be 37-1 going into the finals tonight, or tomorrow night rather, and he'll be taking on another wrestler with only 1 loss. And with 31 wins, would be Brock Long from Southeast of Saline. So a couple of 1-loss competitors taking on each other tomorrow night at 182. As you mentioned, it's also a rematch. I believe it was Lowe that beat Long earlier this season. Yeah,
that was really early in the year. That's going to be a great match at 182 pounds. 195 pounds. In the finals, Colt Castleberry of Douglas. He had a first period fall over Jeff Shaw of Oberlin, in control from the get-go, ended up winning that by a first period fall. In fact, Castleberry has pinned his way to the finals, and it should be a great matchup between Castleberry and Lane Hurl of Goodland. Hurl a 7-point win over Josh McDowell of Smith Center. So Castleberry, his record stands at 42-1, and Lane Hurl is actually Lane Hurl is 41-1. So two just sterling records meeting in the finals at 195 pounds.
I'm really looking forward to that match, especially since you and I have opposite picks for state champion. 220 pounds, it's going to be Austin Veach of Donovan West. Been impressive to me throughout this tournament. I know I've seen his name here at the tournament before. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how he's placed. Maybe I'll look that up tonight, so we'll have that information for you in the finals tomorrow. But Austin Veach been impressive to me. He's in the finals after a 7-4 win over Greenbaum of Douglas here this evening, and he'll be taking on another Goodland Cowboy and Riley O'Hara of Goodland, who won 5-1 over Tanner Taylor of Burlington. That match was a 3-1 match going into the final, about 37 seconds or so, and I thought for a second Taylor was maybe going to pull off the upset, but O'Hara was able to get another takedown and win 5-1 at 220 pounds.
All right, and finally 285 pounds, Trevin Edelman of Sabetha had a 5-1 semifinal win over Clay Wilcox of Chaparral. So Edelman into the finals with a 33-2 overall record, and his opponent Luke Hayes of Scott City. Hayes beats Jacob English of Beloit in the semifinals. 8-2 was the final there. Edelman and Hayes for the finals. Now I know, you know, a lot of people consider, well, Hayes and English, that was the championship match in the semifinals. Watching Edelman here wrestle 2 pins and a 5-1 win over a really high-ranked and good wrestler in Wilcox, I think that's going to be a lot better than a lot of people expect. I think Edelman will give Hayes all he wants tomorrow night. Edelman and Hayes for the championship at 285.
I've seen it happen before where people have all said, well, I wish those two should have been on that side, on opposite sides of the bracket. And I believe it happened to Miller from Oberlin one year. Whoever his matchup was in the semifinals, they're like, that should have been the championship match. And then the kid from the other side of the bracket wound up winning the state championship. So
yeah, we've seen it happen many times in the years that we have covered state wrestling. So it could happen again.
And if I was a coach of a kid that was on the other side of the bracket, I'd be using that for a little bit of motivation. I'd be saying, hey, they all think that should have been the championship match. Why don't you go out there and show them different? So that ought to be interesting to see. Again, team-wise, going into this round, we'll have to get updated scores tomorrow morning, but going into this round, it was Scott City in first, Hoisington in second, Marysville in third, Goodland in fourth, Hoxie in fifth, Burlington and Rossville tied for sixth, Norton in eighth, and ninth and 10th, it was Caney Valley and Marion actually tied at ninth. So we'll get updated scores and, of course, get that information to you tomorrow. If you really would like to know, I'm sure the KSHSAA website will have those scores updated here pretty soon this evening, but they're not going to print us any updates until overnight, and we'll get those tomorrow morning.
Well, and wrestling gets kicked off nice and early tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. So our first consolation round, it's the consolation cross-bracketing round, and the wrestling just keeps getting better and better throughout the day. The matches get tougher. We'll, of course, have coverage of the 5th and 3rd place matches as well as the championship finals, and then the rebroadcast on Sunday. So we're going to see just some fantastic matches. And I think the team title will come down to the very end as well.
Oh, I believe so too. I believe our coverage also starts at 1:30 tomorrow with those 5th place matches, and so we'll see you back here then, here on Smoky Hills Public Television. For Mike Holliday, I'm Troy Recheck.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.